And hello everybody, a warm welcome back to Crusader Kings III as King of, well, Norway, or King in the North, kind of like. And we have a new feast that we were invited to by Chieftain Olafur, our spy master. Well, you might be thinking that he is planning something against us, and yes, you might be right about this, but the huge but here is that he likes us, so I don't expect any negative outcome from this one here. Let's just accept this one and actually attend, yeah, a nice feast, hopefully. And while the feast is going on, we have quite a few things actually that we need to manage at this point. So, as King of Norway, of course, we have a lot of domains already that we have to manage, and most of them are actually managed pretty well. As we can also see, our domain holdings are at 5 out of 5, and we also really have no vassals that would revolt against us or something like that. Now, Heavenly Delights, what kind of meat is this? So rich in flavor. What are these vegetables? Almost sweet. Oh, and these wonderful little desserts. Well, I hope there's nothing here that is poisoned in any way. And as we can see, it's delightful. We actually lose some stress. We also gain life reaffirmed, so a medium health boost, and also Chieftain Olafur gains 75 prestige, because don't forget, we are his king. And if we are happy, then he is happy about this one. So it looks good so far. And all over my new shirt, oh no, we could all tell Chieftain Olafur had too much to drink, even though he insisted on showing us how sober he was. Simply rising from his seat proved too much for him, and now I'm covered in stinking vomit. We could say you ought to be ashamed of yourself, Olafur, but you know, he is my vassal. And what a show you put on. We could also just pretend that this is kind of like a show. Let's actually go with this, because I want to stay on good terms though with my vassal, of course, and we are a good king after all. And yeah, we do lose a bit prestige there. Speaking of prestige, there's something else that we need to do here, and that is managing our domains before we go some raiding again. Actually, you know what? Let's go raiding first, and while we raid, we can manage our domains. That we need to do, because there's lots of development happening. First of all, raiding as the king is a bit more difficult. I should not be the leader of the raiding army anymore, because simply put, if I die, well, the king dies, and I am the king, and there are quite a few people who want to see me dead, so I do have a higher chance of dying out there. Now, what we can do is we can check, first of all, where we have some good plunder ahead. I know by now that Ireland is pretty poor, so I'm not going to do any raiding there anymore. The feast is over, by the way. It was a successful one, and we also get a trait, the Eager Reveler. This actually gives me some diplomacy, because, you know, we were kind of kind to our vassal there, especially when he puked on us. So at least that is something that comes out of it, with all the prestige we had to pay there. Now down here we have Spain, right? The peninsula that we have there, and the peninsula is quite wealthy. So we have a lot of smaller kingdoms here that are all pretty weak, and I'm pretty sure they have a lot of money there. We have Britain here as well, which is also pretty weak, and we should actually raid it as long as we can, as long as it's not within Francia, which might happen at some point, right? Because when we look at this major power there in Europe, this guy, King Charles II the Bold, he is pretty powerful at the moment. He's got 8,000 soldiers at his command, and that's not even his allies that he's also got. So that is something we definitely should not touch. Now the feast is over, it's time for some raiding. First of all, let's just check where we have our rally point. I'm pretty sure that we want to move it. Oh, we already have it down here, very good. And then we can just raise my army all as raiders, just like that. We could also create a new duchy, so we have yet another duchy, the duchy of Halogaland, that we can create, because we have 2 of the chieftains in our domain itself. This would cost us only 125 coin and gives us 300 prestige. I'm actually all in for this. I'm all in for the prestige. We could give the duchy then to someone else, right? So we don't need to necessarily stay as the Duke of it, but I'm rather all in for the prestige, because with the prestige we can also upgrade our armies. And you know, let's just do this right away. Let's get another armored footman, because don't forget, if I die, I will lose some domains, of course, but I will not lose my men-at-arms. And the bigger this army is, the better for our heir. Now, this army is gathering here now, 4,000 soldiers strong. This is pretty incredible. There's not even a domain that has that many supply supplies lurking around, right? So wherever we go, we would lose some supplies and thus also some soldiers at some point. So either I'm very fast at getting down here, but what we can see here as well is that the supply limit also, for example, here in Asturias is pretty low. So more than 3,000 soldiers we probably will not even need. Now I've organized my army here, so we got one army with almost 3,000 soldiers and the other one with almost 1,000 and the one with 1,000. Well, I just basically will keep them here, and the one with the 3,000, yes, it's marching time. First of all, let's wait a second there to replenish the supplies, and once that is full we can actually go. Another interesting opportunity that we see here right now is that our daughter is unmarried. Remember, she had a pretty old, oops, it's not this one here, a pretty old one. Where is she? There she is. A pretty old lover, and in that case we can find her someone new, and yeah, actually there's a king, the king of Estonia, who also is looking for a wife. No one knows what happens with his previous wife there. He's cynical, he is shy, and he's sadistic. Oh, I can see where this is going to. In that case, even though he is sadistic, we might actually try this one. Estonia has 3,500 soldiers. Not that I will ever use them, but it's a good thing of defense, right? So others will not really declare war on us if we have such powerful allies there. 200 prestige it is. Matrilineal, well, it was worth a shot. Of course, it's not going this way. He's a king after all, and the children will certainly not marry into my dynasty. And yes, let's send out the proposal here for my youngest daughter. It's really just all about alliance there. We also have a quite nice opinion bonus right now, and further Filky has low control, but remember, with our martial skill we actually increase the control rating there of this county for now. Glad you accepted, he's accepted my marriage proposal. Next up, we could imprison someone. We could imprison our own son. No, let's not do this right now. I don't want to have any other wars. We also are in line for quite a lot of chieftains here, but in that case, once again, I'm not doing this. Also, I'm not taking a concubine. A concubine is only really useful if you're old and you don't have a lot of children, or you don't have any children, and your wife certainly is not giving any more, and you probably also not. And then getting some concubines, well, is the right way, because you can then get some bastards and yeah, legitimize them. Now let's just have a look. My army has still needs a few supplies there. We can also ransom this guy here, Salomon, from our other raids that were out there from the House of Pohar for 50 coin. We can do this, of course. And yes, it's about right. We do have our amount of supplies, a nice amount of that. And let's just have a look at Britain here. As we can see, it's previously been raided though. There's something here in the center that is still raidable. There's also something here. Oh, it's really not looking good though. How's looking Asturias? Oh, Asturias is looking much better there. We got some rich counties. Let's just go for this one here right away. We got some a king with only 1,000 soldiers and no allies. No idea how he actually stays up there, how he can actually keep himself as king there, but still we can use this opportunity of going for some raiding and perhaps also capturing some nice prisoners there that we can then ransom for a nice juicy amount of money there. Now while my raid army is on the way, as we can see, embarking now it's finally time about developing our domain. One thing that we can do, in this case here, I got my core domains, right? So as a king, I have my core domain right here in the center. So this is basically where I have my my city, my county that I want to develop. So we also have our steward making the development here in this area, increase the development of the county, so that we can increase the development here, and the higher the development, the better buildings I can build, for example, right? This is pretty important. Also, while we're looking at it, the marshal is pretty weak. I don't have a better one at the moment. Oh yeah, my vassal here actually with a 16 skill. He's also my vassal, so we should go with him right away and increase the control in Firda-Filki, right? Because that is pretty low. That is something we can do. And let's get to some building. We have prestige, we have the money. The first thing I would like to do is I want to increase my tribal holding. We can do this to a fortified tribal hold. It costs me a bit of coin, a bit of prestige, but it'll pay off, because the higher the holding is as well, the better buildings I can construct in this area. That is only one. And I was speaking about my core domains, the core area that I have. And it's not only this one here, so Björgen in the Hörderland, but it's also up here in Sogn and in Firda-Filki, and down here We have Rogaland. So those are my core domains from now on. Kind of like I decided it like that. They really belong to my core dynasty. And I want thus to have quite high development rating for these domains. I could improve my tribal holding again. It's a bit expensive though, isn't it? I could also just build something new that is a bit cheaper. Also gives me some bonus prestige, and the gathering hall sounds about right because it gives me 0.2 prestige there and also increases my levies by plus 100. The gathering halls we also have there, and to be honest, you know, we do want to have a gathering hall as Vikings. Meanwhile, my soldiers have arrived down here now. Let's just have a look. There's some 20 coins to be had. As I can see, I'm the king right now. Let's actually put my son and marshal as the commander there. He's also got a nice prowess skill available right now. And let's just go down here. And as we can see, there we are raiding already. We got 100 supplies with us. So we are well supplied in this case here. And we're still also below the supply limit. That means that we are basically not losing any soldiers in this case here. And I just love that bar when it goes up, and it means quite some cash for us. This is actually quite a profitable area that we have there. There is also some 9 coins here. Let's go to this direction. Oh, it's below our supply limit, so we should hurry up there. But I don't intend to stay there any much longer than it needs to be. And the way of the sword, I'm thinking about practicing with another weapon. So either I actually stick with my sword, then I would get some more prowess skill, or I would actually say, let's end the monotony and hand me another weapon. I would get 75 prestige out of this one here. Or with 30% chance I would get the wounded trade. Very bad idea. I'm pretty old at this point, 56, so a wounded trade could kill me. So let's just rather stick with the sword and get some prowess skill there. In addition, right? Even though the prestige, of course, sounds nice. Now, I do get another martial point there as well. And in that case here, mercenary higher cost, nope. I would actually like to go with a bit more of my control traits that I have. So in this case here, control growth is plus 50%, which is just amazing. So in that case here, we need to finish this tree here as well. Perhaps we can do this before we die. Let's go for the next one here. So there we have another one. I'm hoping for some plunder events that might happen then at some point that give us additional coin and prestige. Oh, there's a lot of stuff here. It's looking like the golden land to me. We still have plenty of room in our pockets, so we just continue here now in the beautiful country of Spain, or on the Spanish Peninsula. And we've also captured the court physician of Santiago. So this might come in handy here. We might get a nice ransom out of this one here. This is actually one of the most lucrative ways if you get some high quality prisoners, of course. We also gained a new level of fame, so my glory is widely known. Level of splendor is still obscure though, but still we are increasing that. Let's continue. So over there, oh, the bishopric that has 21 coin. Even though this is a Muslim country right now, it's a bit strange that there is a bishopric. Still, let's take it. No event yet. Alright, and our supplies are actually dwindling. I've also lost quite a few soldiers there, while our pockets are full now, so we should get away from here again. So we also have the surety of supply now, so to this end I should come up with something. Either we pay 50 coin and get a well-provisioned army, so we do get another 100 stockpile. Let's actually do this there, so that we can get us some time. As we can see, this is really not a good island here to stay, but what I can also see is that there's basically no resistance at all. That means that I can actually have the next time that I come, I actually don't need such a big army as this one here. I can just have some 2 smaller ones that are raiding the country. A demonstration of leadership. So my son is challenging me against, or in the council, and he actually wants to get more voice there. We could either now say discuss the method of communication, then we would get some lifestyle experience points, or we should go greet some recruits, and holding Herderland gets respected figure. Yeah, let's go with this one here. We get some more levies out in our own domain, and let's get back home there. And I think we still have quite a lot of armies that we could, or quite a lot of soldiers that we could raise here now. Let's actually do this. So my army is back again. We get 197 coin and 197 prestige. Plus my army is now fully replenished again, around 3,000 soldiers. We still need to wait there a bit on the supplies. I've also got a new experience point thanks to a successful raiding. And enduring hardships to the fort level is increased by +1. Another nice quality of life perk that we have there. And while we're waiting to resupply, let's also just check our holdings. As we can see, our tribal hold here has 23 months left and then is being upgraded. Down here we have the gathering hall that I was constructing, and this one is actually finished. No, it's actually not. It's still taking 2 years. So in that case, it still takes actually longer than the tribal hold. A bit strange there. Now my army is ready again, full of supplies. Let's go for some raiding again. We need to be very careful with the raiding though, that we don't cross borders into any area that would be a part of a bigger empire. Like here, for example, we should be very careful with our army not to get on French soil, because then we would get crushed immediately by an 8,000 strong mob, most likely. Let's just get off board there again into the next territories. As we can see, unfortunately, once again, supply limit is really low in these areas. There's also, yep, a smaller kingdom that we might just go for. And once again, supply is bad, but I'm not expecting a lot of resistance here, so we can just happily raid away. Another thing, my steward died. Not the worst thing that can happen. Actually, we have a very good guest in our court right now with 14 stewardship skill. So I would actually just go with this one here and assign him... Or wait a second. I think we have an even better one. My son and vassal here has 19 stewardship skill. Let's actually go with this one. My daughter can marry... No. My granddaughter can marry. It's not a very good marriage though, so we might actually not do this. She would actually lose a lot of prestige. He's Midas touched, so that makes him a good guardian for children, but he's pretty old too, right? 55, 54. He's also not very powerful. Why is this marriage here intact anyway, right? So we might just change him to something else then, or actually clear this one. No idea. I don't care about this at all. We also have a faction. It's a peasant rebel at this moment with only a 5% military power, so it would be no problem if they rise. We are out there raiding still, so just leave me alone. Alright, and after all, the peasants are trying to rise. I'm not giving in, so we are going to lose now some of them. That is fine though. It's better than, you know, staying with the consequences of having a low control there forever. Let's get back my army there. We have 2,500 soldiers. Let's get back to the ocean and sail all the way back home where the peasant rebel is somewhere. Is it this one here? I think it's this one here. Actually, no, this is raiders. Where is the peasant army? Yeah, it's actually down here in the capital. 182 soldiers, so it's not even that bad. Now I just need to capture my army again. There they are. And let's get just right back into the capital here and destroy this peasant rebel. Let's slaughter all of them. And while we are on the way, let's also put some ransom on the prisoners that we've taken. Also gives me back a bit of money there that we might need. And, oh, up here, this one here was actually ransacked by raiders just now, and there something has happened, so the looters destroyed the village quite a bit. Also the fortresses of size left to oppose them, the raider have carried off every precious item. We lose some prestige there, or we pay some money and as weregelds, so in this case here we would get some protection there, and since we have enough money, I'd rather pay some money there other than losing some prestige. Also we get a nice little opinion there back in. The peasant rebel has been defeated, right like this. The peasant leader is in the prison. And we can actually replenish our supplies and go back at raiding as we speak. So no big deal here. I think now we have finished the tribal holding. It's a bit difficult here. And there it is. Yes, it has been upgraded now, so we can continue with something else. Either I upgrade my gatherings halls to a longhouse, no, to a grand hall. The grand hall would give me even more prestige, which I always need. Or I just go for something else, like the war. The war camps actually give me some more damage on my armies, and the market gives me a bit more money. Money is not a problem for quite some time though. I'd rather go with some proper palisades here that we then also have in our capital, so that it's protected. And down here, let's just check this one. it's still taking 33 days until we finish the next scattering halls then as our next building. Another thing I should not forget is that once again my kind of like priest changed, so we do need to appoint him as our court physician, even though this one is really bad. And since I'm the king of a tribal empire, I can exchange my priest. For example, with this gal here, she would actually be quite fine for this 3 coin. She still doesn't have the best of learnings here, but it's still a fine choice. Thus she is it, and we can also appoint her as my court physician, or we just find someone else, because 7 and 9 learning either is not very good. Also, we have a challenge event. One of my soldiers suggested we fight each other. We could accept the challenge, or, well, in this case I would rather not. We would lose some prestige. Don't forget, we're old and we are one-legged, right? We still are one-legged. This is a huge penalty on every fighting challenge that we have. So a prowess challenge that we have. We have only 7 prowess skills. That is very poor, so I would rather not do this, and we lose some prestige with that, but that's pretty much it. Let's just check the matter of our priest though, because this is much more urgent. And oh no, my daughter has the pox. Which daughter is it? I've got so many I have lost track. It's one of the middle ones, so she's still married there to this guy here, Ericsson, and in that case here, let's send the physician. Now, unfortunately, we don't have a very good one, which brings me to the point of the priest right away. So 9 learning is not very good. We are pretty old, so we should find someone who is just a better, doctor overall. Great pox, and apparently Freya is quite experienced. Who's Freyr? But that's why is my daughter experienced? And this makes sense. Oh, okay. My servants have found some people who might fit to serve as court physician, because right now, remember, we don't have one. In that case here, we could pay Freya for this one. Let's have a look at her. She's actually got 16 learning on this. Yes, let's pay the coin for it. And we do have a new court physician who is actually also pretty skilled for the task. So hopefully this is solving the problem there. And let's just see how it works. Actually, she looks quite sick too. She's scaly. So in that regard, not the best looking court physician we have, but she might be apt for the job. And be cautious, do no more than what is necessary. And yeah, very good. It was successful. We do get the reduced disease symptoms for our daughter there, even though, you know, it's just a small, minor incident there. We have another perk. I would like to use this right away. Very, very interesting trait here is the army gold maintenance minus 15%. So while my army is up and running, I don't have to pay that much money anymore for my raiders, which makes it even more lucrative to go on some raiding. And speaking of which, I have that itch in my fingers already once again, so we should be going out there to do some proper raiding once again.